Very good morning, all my dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are safe and fine at your places. So, my dear students, this is your physical education teacher, Deepak sir, right? And today, students, we are going to go through to the second part of biomechanics and sports. Before this lecture, you all aware about physiology, anatomy, kinesiology, and so many points that need to be considered, right? We'll do the recapitulations of that part also. So welcome to the physical education class. Let's begin. Welcome to the ocean of physical education. Right, this is part 2. Right, we are going on with unit number 8. The name of unit number 8 is Biomechanics. And its focus. Right, so chapter 8, that's the unit 8. The name of this chapter is Biomechanics in Sports. So students, as you all know, whenever we talk about biomechanics, right? So in this chapter, we'll be going to learn about so many points. Let's write here. Biomechanics, right? The word bio means life. Okay? The word bio means life. Let's write it here, let's understand. So, biomechanics, it's a branch of science which deals with the force acting on the body. The word bio means, we can say that biomechanics is the study of the structure and the functions of a biological system of a human. Right? So biomechanics is the study of the structure and the function of the biological structure of the body. So let's write this. Okay, what is biomechanics? That we need to keep in mind is that biomechanics is the study of human body structure and functioning of various biological system of human body, right? Functioning of various biological system right? If we go through the first thing, bio, which means life, right? Mechanics, branch of physics. Branch of physics. So biomechanics is basically, when we hear the word bio, so bio means things which is related to the life, the biological system. Okay, it means the study of biological system as well as whenever we talk about mechanics. Mechanics, as you all know, students, mechanics is a branch of physics which deals with the force acting on a body. So in the same way, in this chapter, we will be going to understand what are the forces which act on our body, what are the forces which act on our body and lead to change in the action. Like if you throw something like a shot put or a ball with the angle of 45 degree, it will cover the high, kind of, what should I say is that the height, distance as well as the, okay, so distance as well as the height, both are things with a 45-degree angle, that is the projectile will be there. So have you got this, what is biomechanics? Now there are some another terms also, and that term we need to keep in mind, right? So another term like, students, anatomy, like physiology, these are also some terms that we always keep in mind, so that whenever we deal with things, so basically what happens is that our topics will be there, right? So the students so we need to remind the things, okay? So let's we first talk on the very first thing, that's the anatomy, okay? So anatomy is what now? It's a branch of biology which deals with the study of human body structure, okay? So anatomy is what? Branch of biology deals with the study of human body structure. So let me write anatomy. Anatomy is the branch of biology which deals with the human body structure. Human body structure. In the same way, students, we have another term called physiology. What is physiology exactly? So physiology is that branch of science, or physiology is a branch of science which basically deals, students, for the what should I say is that it's a science basically which deals with the functioning of various organ or system in the relationship with the organ and their effect. So it's basically based on the functioning of various organs, right, students? So let's write definition of physiology. So physiology is the study of various organ and, or we can say organ system. So we can, rather than we can write organ system, right? It will be more fine. Okay, so various organ systems as well as various organ system as well as various organ. So organ or organ system, right? So physiology is the study of various organ or organ system functioning. Got it? So this is about physiology that we need to keep in mind, right? The another point that we will now cover is the, students, the Newton's law of motion. Okay? The next part that we are going to calculate, that we are going to learn is the, so students, in the next part that we are going to cover now is about the kinesiology. What is the next part? That is the kinesiology. So what is kinesiology? The scientific study of human body movements. And kinesiology we need to learn accurately because this is the very important part, kinesiology, right? Kinesiology, it's a science, right? So kinesiology, it is the study of, it is a scientific study, students, right? It is the scientific study of human body. It's a scientific study of human. So kinesiology is basically the scientific study of human body. Students, why I am telling you these things again and again? Students, see, biomechanics is based on all these basic terms. Okay? Without this basic term, there is nothing. You must know all these things. Right? Let's say if we talk about biomechanics, so basically the biological system, like the functioning of the heart, like the functioning of the lungs, the digestive system, the respiratory system, this all system. Okay? So whenever I'm writing about it, whenever I'm discussing about it, it's very important to go through the various concepts properly. If you do not go for the concepts properly, you will get a lot of problems. Basically, when we deal about kinesiology or the terms like biomechanics, it's become very important for us to get into it, to know about it, and it's become amazing when you learn things by heart and you get the proper answers, right? So बच्चे जब मैं आपसे बात करता हूँ kinesiology की, now the thing is कि when I am talking about kinesiology, so why we study kinesiology? What is the exact mean of kinesiology? Kinesiology is the biggest branch, which is the first thing. Okay, so the application of kinesiology of human health include the biomechanics, orthopedics, strength and conditioning, sports psychology also, right? Sports psychology and various organ systems functioning, method of rehabilitation, physical and occupational therapy. These things are there, sports and exercise. So when I am talking about, see बच्चे देखो क्या लिखा है बोर्ड पे मैंने, I have written over there the scientific study of human body. It means क्या movements हैं, कैसे किस चीज़ की therapy देना है, and all these things about, right? So we need to be very much precautionary in that case, है ना? Right? Now students, if I am talking you about this kinesiology, so kinesiology is the study of human body movements, performance and function by applying science like a biomechanics, by anatomy, by physiology, by psychology, by neuroscience. Now the very first point come in our mind कि जब मैं इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ तो इन सब चीज़ों का कहीं ना कहीं कनेक्शन है. किससे कनेक्शन है? To the sports performance of the player, right? So how there is the connection of the sports player? Okay, that thing we need to check. Okay, that is what we need to check it up, right? So then this is very important to check, otherwise the things will not be okay. Okay, and we don't want the things to be just taken for the granted. We just wanted things to be adorable, we just wanted things to be perfect. That's our aim, right students? So as you can see on the board that I have started the topic with the biomechanics, right? So students, what is the if you go through, if you understand it properly, what is just the meaning of biomechanics? So it's so clear with us that biomechanics is simple. What it is the study of human body movements. Along with bio is life, biomechanics is the branch of physics. Can we study the biomechanics definition? In this definition, what we understand? We understand as yes, biomechanics is the branch of science that studies the human body structure, the functioning of various biological systems in the body. The various biological systems like the heart, the lungs, the diffusion of the blood, the diffusion of the oxygen into the lungs. Okay, and various we have various systems in our body, various biological systems that work accordingly. Okay, students. So these are some terms in which we need to be there. Right? So I hope you understand these terms like anatomy. When I am talking about anatomy, so we deal with the human body structure like skeletal system, like the muscular system, right? If we talk about the biological system or biological system like the digestive system, we have the functioning, the heat conversion, the energy, the digestion of the food, so many things. When I am talking about kinesiology or physiology, so when physiology we talk about the function of various organ as well as organ system. Glandular functions, hormonal secretions, so many things. Kinesiology, this is the vast term, this is a vast arena. If you go through it, it's a scientific study of human body structure. Like students, if I'm talking about the If I'm simply doing like this is flexion, this is extension, flexion, extension. So simple. So these movements are what? Kinesiology. Why it is kinesiology? Because kinesiology discovered all these things and this movement, the scientific study they had done. Right, dear students? Now let's understand what is the importance of biomechanics. Okay, so first we are going to learn the importance of biomechanics. Right, dear students? So let's start. I just wanted to write the importance of biomechanics here. Okay, so let's write the importance of biomechanics here. I think I should do this one. Okay, I just wanted to check that is it visible or not. So yeah, it's fine. It means I'll have to write from that corner, right? Okay. So it will be, students, when I'm dealing with the biomechanics and all, it becomes so easy for you to understand. See, importance, right? Importance of biomechanics. So whenever we deal with the importance of biomechanics, biomechanics is a simple science which deals with the various functions. Like I'll be telling you the performance of a player and various things are here. Will continue, right? So let's start. The first point, right? The first point that we need to know here is the improved performance in sports. Biomechanics really helps to improve the performance in sports. So the first point, improve sports performance. Right, dear students? So biomechanics help us to improve the performance of the player. But students, now there are so many questions by the students that how it affects the functioning and what about that, what about this. So yes, exactly, biomechanics play a very important role in the functioning of the body, if I say, or various things that we should know exactly. Right. So the next thing that we need to keep here in mind is the improvement in the performance. But yes, when we know about the human body structure, when we know about the various functioning, the internal functions, when we know the body in a scientific manner, it becomes so easy for us to understand the things and to go through it. And this type of things when we know about, so we will be able to develop for improvement in sports equipment. So the development of sports equipment, development of improved sports equipment, right? So we can head up development in sports equipment. Sports now see students, when we know much about this sports, when we had a research work in that, and when we know all about the things, it becomes so easy for us to go through the topic. And it will be, when we talk about the things in a scientific manner, so we'll get to know about the scientific approaches and from the basics. When we go back to the basics and go up to depth of the particular content, we will be able to develop so many things. We will be able to develop, various kinds of, force acting on the body and how to develop such a particular kind of equipment and kind of things, right? Next is efficient movement. Okay, the next topic is efficient movement. I think I should rub this. This is my key and stocks are disturbing somehow. Here also. So the development, again the development, right? So efficient movement. Efficient movement. Okay, students, note these things whichever I am reading here. On this board you can see. So efficient movement will become efficient. how the movement will become efficient? See students, when you know about your body, right? When you know about your body, when you understand about your body structures, so anatomy is that subject will help us to understand the body structure properly. And when you know about your body much, it will become so easy for you students to deal with it, to understand it properly, and definitely the movements will be efficient, right? So whenever the movement become efficient, it's become very good for you to know, to understand, to deal with the situation, right? Okay, so about this unit 8, it's become so simple, so easy for us to go through the topics. Like next is to understand the body structure. We will be able to understand the body structure. Next point, understand body structure. Understand body structure. If you are aware about the Sheldon classification, it's about the personality classification that I have taught you. This classification was based on the the development of personality. Now, what about the development of personality, like the endomorphic, like the mesomorphic, like the ectomorphic? Endomorphic persons are heavy, round body shape. They have a lot of fat in their body, and these peoples are good in strength. Endomorphic person. So endomorphic person, like students like this. These are the endomorphic person. Very healthy. They have fat endomorphic. These are who? Endomorphic persons. Right? Mesomorphic. They have this kind of shape. Right? So they have well muscular body. Okay? Those who have well muscular body, they are mesomorphic, right, students? So I hope this part is clear. Okay? So students, endomorphic, mesomorphic and ectomorphic. Ectomorphic के बारे में जब हम बात करते हैं, यानी कि अभी हम बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो ectomorphic जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं ना, उनकी बॉडी रेक्टेंगुलर शेप की होती है, दुबले पतले हुए, राइट? So these are ectomorphic. These are mesomorphic. So when we do study of biomechanics, we'll be able to know about the body structures properly, right? So whenever we know about the body structure properly, we'll be able to know about our body structure, various kind of body structures like. Okay? So I hope this part is clear with everyone. Okay? Now students, biomechanics really help us to understand the body movement, the efficient movement, right? And prevent from sports injury, the very first thing. Okay? Very efficient and very first thing, prevent from sports injuries. See, before doing any activity, we go for the various kinds of warm-up, we go for the various kinds of things, right? Why we go through all these things? We go through all these things just because of the warm-up. Why we go through this? Because of warm-up, so that our muscles will be little bit warm up, the body temperature will be raised, and we will be able to participate in various exercises in great confidence. Great confidence, or instead I can say that we will not have any kind of injury like a musculoskeletal or some kind of, because we will be physically as well as mentally prepared for any kind of activity, right? So it is very important to have a good knowledge of biomechanics, physiology, anatomy, kinesiology, so that various kinds of sports injury can be prevented. Right? The next thing is, definitely it will improve the performance. Knowledge about physics principle. So when we go through this topics, we will get the knowledge about the physics principle. Knowledge about physics principles. So obviously when we talk about the biomechanics, it will definitely give us the knowledge about the physics principle, like which force is acting on the body. Whenever I throw something, it will go down just because of the gravitational force. We can walk, we can sit, I can hold this chalk, I can bear this cloth just because of friction. Frictional force, the force between two surfaces. So when we go through this kind of topics, we'll be able to understand the various things, right? Next topic or the next point that I'm going to cover is it will give us the correct movement. Okay, correct movement. The next point is correct movement. Okay, so really biomechanics help us to give correct movement, and definitely when we have a correct movement, the skill will be good. When we have a correct movement, there will be a lot of things will be enhanced in our body, and this is very important for us to go through things, right? So when we know exact things about our body, it will become very helpful for us to have a correct movement, to have various things which should be there in our body. So we should have a good knowledge of cancerology, biomechanics, etc. Prevent health related problems. Okay, now the next point is prevention of the health related problem. I'm going to start from here. Okay, prevent health related problems. Okay, so prevention of the health related problems, like see students, when we know about our body, if we know about the correct movement, if we know about the correct posture, we will be able to understand the correct position of standing, sitting, moving, etc. So when we have a correct posture, when we have a specific kind of body structure, and when we do the things accordingly, so it becomes very good for us to perform various body movements. When our body movements are good, there will be the good skills. If the skills are good, there will be perfection in the exercise. If you go through the exercise, the performance will be boosted up, and overall, if I say that everything will be fine with you. So it's play a very important role. Now the very important thing is that helps to research work. Biomechanics, the very most which is the required term or which is the required field nowadays, is helps in research work. Helps in research work. Right? So biomechanics is all based on the physics principles, the study of the biological systems. So let's say if I'm talking about strength. So if I'm talking about strength I should know कि sarcolemma की covering होती है हमारी muscles के ऊपर. I should know about the skeletal system. I should know about the working of heart, the working of lungs, the diffusion of oxygen into the lungs, that is the blood vessels, diffusion of oxygen, the removal of carbon dioxide. So when I know about all these things, I can train my student, I can train my player for strength related activities much better. If we talk about flexibility, so I should know about the joint articulation, the muscle the stretchability, elasticity of muscles. If I'll be able to know about all these things, it will become so easy for me, and it will become so scientific for me to train the player accordingly. If I want to talk about the speed, so I should know about the fast twitch muscle fibers, wide muscle fibers, that is the slow twitch muscle fibers, and all about. When we know the things in a scientific term, it will become so easy for us to go through the topic and to lead the people for better life, if I say. So students, preparatory things, like if we know the things in prior, if we know the points in prior, this biomechanics increase the popularity of sports, right? Exactly, biomechanics really increase the popularity in sports. So yes, and it's true, correct, that biomechanics really helps to improve the standard of sports, right? So students, the point that I would like to tell you is it also helps in maintaining the healthy body and increase the popularity in sports. So biomechanics helps in the improving popularity in sports. The next one, right? So helps in improving the popularity in schools. Helps in improving popularity in sports. ठीक, दूसरी चीज क्या है बेटा कि it will give you a healthy body. So these all things are really important for us if we go through it. Right, students? Now students, the next point that we are going to cover is all about based on the laws of motion, the Newton's law of motion, right? So there was the uncle called Newton uncle, my favorite uncle, right? So Newton's law of motion was given in year 1687, right? And Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. So let's talk on it. Okay. So Isaac, no? Isaac Newton, right? Sir Isaac Newton. I think I should drop it and write it. And I think you cannot see it. So let's write it properly. So I was writing you about the Isaac Newton, right? So it was about. It was talked about the year, I think 1687. Yeah, okay. So Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton gave some laws in 1687. Keep this point in mind, Richard. Yeah, this point should be in our mind. He has given 3 laws. Okay, and all the 3 laws are very important. Okay, he discovered 3 laws. And the laws are really very important to go through, so that at least you will get a glance of it. The first law, okay, the first law is called the law of inertia, right? What is the name of first law? First law is the law is law of inertia. And it says that if anything is in rest, it will be in rest until or unless an external force applied on it. So as you all know, this is the 9th class topic that we have in grade 12th, and it becomes so easy for you students to go through it. And so what is the thing? It is said that anything which is in rest, it will remain in rest, or the object which is in motion, definitely it will be in motion until or unless you put a force on it or you kick it. So let's take an example of football. Okay, in football, penalty point will remain at rest. The football, right? The football remain at rest unless a player kicks the ball. Okay, it means the force applied. To move the ball towards the goal post, it will move the direction where the player had extended the force through kick. So it is required. Without force, there is nothing, right? So until and unless you put forward some kind of force and all, it will not at all these things will move. Second law is called law of acceleration, right? What is the second law, students? Law of acceleration. Law of acceleration, right? Second law is the law of acceleration. What did this law says? This law, the statement, if I go through the law of the second law, which is the law of acceleration, it says the rate of change of velocity, that's the acceleration, of an object is directly proportional to the force applied and inversely proportional to the mass of body. So if we can take an example of shot put, right? In shot put event, a player who exerts more force and toss the shot put and the correct angle has greater displacement of shot put, whereas the player who exerts less force, the displacement will be less. In the same way, if we talk about the one more example I can take, volleyball, right? So if we talk about volleyball, so in volleyball, if player pushes the ball slowly from drop where it hit the heart and smash, thus drop is slow, there is less force, whereas smash is fast, there is a great force involvement in this. Okay, last thing, the last law is the law of action reaction. What is the last law? Law of reaction. Law of action reaction, or simply reaction we can say. Okay. So the law of action reaction, there is again a statement in that, and we should cover it. And the statement is, students, this law is of motion stat that every action has equal and opposite reaction. The more you push the water backward, it returns you to push forward. In the same way, if you see the athletic, so the athlete pushed the starting block backward, this athlete is pushed forward. Okay, so this was all about this kind of introductory part that you should go through it properly, right, students? It's very important to go through all these topics properly, right? So this was the second lecture that we are going on, right? So go through this properly. It's a very important topic that we need to understand. Each and everything given is very important to go, right? So with this, take care, bye bye, lots of love and lots of blessings to everyone. All my dear kiddos, just go through, just do hard, right? Thank you so much.